When should you file a motion for emergency custody? My name is Goldman. I'm the director of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and we're going to continue our video series designed to address questions that are important to you. So please subscribe to our channel. Now, when do we file a motion for emergency custody? Well, you got to understand one thing. The word emergency means a certain thing to the court, which is very different than what it might mean to me or you. I mean, if you're supposed to get your child on a certain date and time and you don't, you may think of that as an emergency. You may call your lawyer and say, I need an emergency motion filed because the child, it was supposed to be here on Tuesday morning, didn't get here till Tuesday night. I sat and worried the whole day. I called, no way, blah, blah, blah. You may regard that as an emergency. Whether the court regards it as an emergency is a different story. In most cases, if you can't prove that there's going to be immediate harm to the child, if you can't show that there's a history of either abuse or some sort of assaultive behavior or something that is going to negatively impact your kid, then the court may be sympathetic to your problem, but won't necessarily put it on its emergency docket. Because in the eyes of the court, if the child is with mom, should be with dad, but is with mom, but there's no indication mom's hurting the child, that is not an emergency. What that is a violation of the parenting time schedule, and the court will address it in its ordinary docket in the ordinary course of business. And if that docket is a week long, it'll take a week. And if it's 6 weeks long, it'll take 6 weeks. So you've got to first understand what is the nature of the emergency, and is it the kind of emergency that the court will view as an emergency? And your lawyer can be very helpful in giving you the parameters of that. Now, let's say it's a bona fide emergency. Let's say, the ex took your kid. She's a drug addict and an alcoholic. You understand, that the kid was supposed to be back by a certain time. She may be drunk driving. The kid may be in danger. There's a bona fide emergency. Well, in that situation, if you've really got that, your lawyer will file an emergency motion for immediate return of the child and or change of custody, and might well ask the court for an immediate hearing. It might ask the court for, rather than like a 7-day notice, that the court should conduct a hearing, tomorrow, and you will have to serve the other party with that. It's a little tricky to do it because if you don't know where the mom is, for example, service may be a problem, there may be other issues involved, but the court can put you on its emergency docket if it has a bona fide belief that the child's well-being is certainly in danger. Now, if you have any questions about your specific case, reach out, and of course, we'll be glad to help you out.